morning, my friends. How are you on this beautiful but quite cold Sunday morning? If you're new, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back to Hills Presbyterian Church's Sunday School. I am Miss Kathy, and I am so excited to be here with you. We're online. I'm so excited we're online. Someday soon we'll be back in the classroom, but for right now, I get to be with you online, and I am so happy about that. So I still get to talk to you about Jesus, but online, but soon in the classroom. I'll show you the classrooms as we get a little bit further along and getting them done. We are getting our elevator done at the church, and as they build an elevator, they are also building us some extra storage. So a lot of things that are sitting in my classrooms right now will go into that storage. So once that is done, then I can finish repainting the nursery, clean the carpets, wipe it all down, wash the windows, and be ready to go when they say go, and we can go back into our church. So hopefully that will happen soon, but I think probably quite a few months before that happens. Okay, today's our story is on the Sabbath. And if you don't know what that word means, Sabbath is Sunday, our seventh day of the week, a day that most of us pretty much don't go to school or to work. Some people do, but a lot of us do not. It's supposed to be a day of rest. And that's kind of what our story is about. So I have a question for you. Where our church is in Anaheim Hills, if you've never been there, there's a lot of hills in there, and a lot of the hills grow a lot of weeds. But it's too dangerous for anybody to go in there, any person to really go in there and clear those weeds out. So they bring in a herd of goats, quite a few hundred goats. And my understanding with goats is they eat just about anything. So they eat up all the weeds and they clean the ground and they do a beautiful job. So my question to you is, let's pretend that you're taking a walk on Sunday. That's part of your rest. You're not working, you're not doing schoolwork. So you and the family are taking a walk and you hear what sounds like one little goat by itself, not the whole big group, which you can really hear quite a ways off. So this one little goat is doing its little ba-ba, which sounds like a sheep, but they kind of make a ba-ba sound too. And you go look, and it's kind of got itself down in a little bit of a trench or a little hole. It's not hurt, it just can't kind of get itself out. Here's the question. They say it's a Sabbath. You're not supposed to work. So you're not supposed to help? Do you and your family help the goat out so we can go back up to where the rest of them are? Or do we say, today's the Sabbath, and God said, we do no work? Kind of an easy question, I think. But I think it's a good question. I think that we need to ask that question. What does it mean to rest on Sunday? Does that mean that you go and you lay on the couch and you expect everyone to serve you? Well, if everyone's supposed to rest, then everybody's going to think somebody's going to serve them, and we're all going to get kind of hungry. But back to the goat story. I would think your family would help. Because that's part of our story today, that yes, it's a Sabbath, and yes, God created it for us to rest and to think about Him and to pray to Him and to read the Bible and to just kind of let our bodies relax. All of us do so much during the week, and it's our day to rest. But does that mean we don't do a good deed? Does that mean that we don't help out the goat? That we don't help out a friend or our parents? You know, maybe they've had a hard week and you know how to make a sandwich better than they do. So yes, you do help. You do the good work. So we are going to pray, and then I'll come back and talk to you about our story. So let's calm ourselves, fold our hands, and close our eyes and say, Dear Lord, thank you for the Sabbath. Thank you for Sundays. They are a day to rest in your word. But that doesn't mean that we don't help others, that we can't do good deeds. And I pray that the children hear this story with their open ears and open hearts. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Okay, I'll be right back with that story. Okay, back with that story. Now, like I said, it's about the Sabbath. Jesus went to the synagogue on the Sabbath. Now remember, that's church. Could be a big church, could be a little church, but Jesus went in there to talk to others. The Sabbath was a special day. It was a holy day. That it was set apart for us to go to church, or now how we do, we have church online. Think about God, maybe read our Bible, tell stories, be with our families, and do good. God had commanded his people not to do any work on the Sabbath. The Sabbath was a day to rest and worship God. God taught the people in the synagogue, Jesus taught the people in the synagogue. He went to the church and he talked to the people because that's what they did on Sundays. That's what we do on Sundays. We go to church or we listen to church online and we rest. We prepare ourselves for the following week. One of the men there was unable to use his right hand. I'm going to show you kind of a picture. So see his hand, it had never worked. It was kind of just curled up and it just kind of was there, but it never was any good to him. It was paralyzed. Maybe you have a grandma, grandpa, or even somebody younger who's had a stroke or something and it just doesn't work. That's okay. Doesn't really make them any different than us. Just their hand doesn't work. But this story, this man's hand did not work. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law were also in the synagogue. So these were the people who set the rules of the Sabbath. They weren't very nice when they set the rules of the Sabbath. They made it so people could do nothing. And they weren't real fans of Jesus either. So they were watching Jesus very carefully. They wondered if Jesus would heal the man's hand, because he's not supposed to do anything on the Sabbath. And with their laws, you did nothing. Most people fasted, and if you don't know what fasting means, it means you don't even eat. You do not eat the whole day. You did nothing. So here's this man standing before Jesus, and they're like, do you think he's going to do it? I don't really like him. Let's see what he does. They wanted to see him do something wrong so they could accuse him of it. They wanted to say, no, Jesus, you're wrong. Is it okay to heal people on the Sabbath? The leaders asked them. Jesus said that he knew that he knew what the these rule makers were thinking and what they were doing, that they were trying to catch him doing something wrong. So if you see me over here looking over here, I'm picking up my different papers because I want to get the whole story for you. And I didn't find the whole story just on one website or one book, kind of multiples. So I'm kind of looking to just make sure that I tell you everything. So here's Jesus, and here's these rule makers, and Jesus is talking, and here's this poor man who can't use his right hand. And so he knew that, and so he called this man up in front of everyone, and he healed his hand. And now his right hand was the same as his left hand. He could use both hands now. Oh, that did not go over well with these rule makers. Jesus did wrong. He is not abiding by our rules of the Sabbath. And Jesus said, wait a minute. Let's see. I'm Jesus, the Son of God. We made the rules. My Father made the rules of the Sabbath. So, yeah, I think I can break them. But here's the deal. I'm breaking them to save someone. I'm breaking them to save his hand, so that now his right hand works as good as his left hand. He can go out in his fields, and he can work hard, and he can now dig with both hands, and he can plant his seeds, and he can pick his harvest. He can now work. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that at all, because they were the rule makers, and you're supposed to rest, you're supposed to do nothing. And Jesus said, I am not killing anyone. I am helping someone. I am doing good. We made the rules. I break the rules because I break the rules for good, to help. So even though on the Sabbath God said we are to rest and honor him, he didn't mean we weren't allowed to help others, feed others, donate some clothes for others, help a goat get back to its herd. Those things we can do. Jesus did. He also said, is it lawful on the Sabbath to want to do good or want to do evil? Do good, of course. We all want to do good. And he knew that they were waiting for him to make a mistake. But did Jesus ever make a mistake? No. Jesus never made a mistake. Jesus was perfect. Unlike us, we are not perfect. That's why we have prayer and forgiveness. But Jesus was. So they're trying to catch him in a mistake because, see, they went to people rules, not God's rules. The religious leaders, the Pharisees, wanted to trap Jesus. They were more concerned about their own rules that they had made, that were about a man using his hand. God showed them that he was more interested in doing good, especially on a day when people were supposed to be worshiping. Jesus healed this man's hand. Jesus performed many miracles so everyone could know who Jesus was. Jesus performed miracles to prove he was the Son of God and to let them know that these are your people rules, and your rules do not go over our rules. Yes, we want you to rest on the Sabbath. We want you to pray. We want you to go to church, however you can do that. We want you to do good. So of course you're going to help. We're going to be with our families. We're not going to lay on the couch and say, hey, Mom, it's a Sabbath. Can you make me a sandwich? How about we say, hey, Mom, it's Sunday, and I make you a sandwich. So I love that story. It's always about helping and doing good for others. So what do we have next? We have our dancing and our singing and our moving and our grooving. So you guys go have fun, learn the songs. They will be at VBS. And we will too. So you have fun, and I will be back for the closing.
God of heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and I will put my hope in you alone, in you alone. God of heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and I will put my hope in you alone, in you alone.
I will put my hope in you, Lord. You alone are everything I need. My hope is in you alone, in you alone. I will put my hope in you, Lord. You alone are everything I need. My hope is in you alone, in you alone.
Heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and
Everything I need. My hope is in you alone, in you alone.
heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and
Everything I need. My hope is in you alone, in you alone.
God of heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and I will put my hope in you alone, in you alone. God of heaven and earth, you are amazing. You hold me up with your hand, you give me faith, and I will put my hope in you alone, in you alone.
Today we live, today we breathe, today we know that we are strong when we are weak. Today we trust, we overcome, take every chain that kept us slaves and throw them off. We're not waiting for permission, we defy our inhibition, like our middle name is fearless, son of red. If we're gonna fly, we fly like eagles, arms out wide. If we're gonna fear, we fear no evil. We will rise. By your power, we will go. By your spirit, we are bold. If we're gonna stand, we stand. Same power that rose Jesus from the grave, the same power that commands the dead to wake, lives in us, lives in us. The same power that moves mountains when He speaks, the same power that can calm a raging sea, lives in us, lives in us. He lives in us, He lives in us. We have hope that His promises are true in His strength. There is nothing we can't do, yes we know. There are greater things in store. We will not be overtaken, we will not be overcome. The same power that rose Jesus from the grave, the same power that commands the dead to wake, lives in us, lives in us. The same power that moves mountains when He speaks, the same power that can calm a raging sea, lives in us, lives in us. He lives in us, lives in us. Same power that rose Jesus from the grave, the same power that commands the dead to wake, lives in us, lives in us. Same power that moves mountains when He speaks, the same power that can calm a raging sea, lives in us, lives in us. He lives in us, lives in us. He lives in us, lives in us.
Okay, how was that? Did you guys have fun? I love the music and the dancing. Kind of gets all the wiggles and giggles out, and it gets us a little bit of exercise too. How about that? Well, guess what holiday is coming up soon? Valentine's Day. So I thought I might tell you a few things about Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was named after, they call him Saint Valentine. And so he was named after Saint Valentine a very, very long time ago. And a very long time ago, there was a festival in the spring, right around February 14th, which is Valentine's Day for us, that the flowers would start pushing up and the birds would be singing. And it was just like the beginning of spring. And through time and years and years and years, we are now to our Valentine's Day. Let's see, Valentine's Day is a good day to just remind you how special people are in your lives. Just remind you to say maybe an extra I love you and thank you. It shouldn't be a day that forces you to have to go buy something or have to make sure that you're, got this special card and the flowers and everything. No. I think Valentine's Day just comes from the heart, and we just give that little bit of extra love and maybe something a little extra special. So next week is 1 week before Valentine's Day, so I will have a craft that you guys will easily be able to do if you'd like to make it, maybe if your moms and dads or grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, but just something little. Valentine's Day shouldn't be very expensive. It should just be from the heart. And just to remind us how special each other is, and to say a special I love you. Just a little note here. My grandfather, his middle name was Valentine. He was not a fan of it. but his birthday was on Valentine's Day. So his name is Gaylord Valentine Pixler, which I did not know until I was an adult because he never told people his middle name. But just a cute little story. I loved his name was Valentine. But anyway, so we will have that next week. I hope that you all are learning, still in school. Some of you are back at school, actually physically in school, and some of you are still learning online. Everything's great. Just that you're learning, just that you're able to learn, to see your teachers, to be able to talk to your teachers, to see your friends. I know we can't play like we used to right now, but we will soon. We will get back there. And so it's just still online that we can come to Sunday school. We can go to church. We can see our friends. I have many meetings on the internet. Some of you have school. I know all of you at one time, all of us had school that way. Some of you still do. Some of you have classes. I actually took a painting class online. I don't paint very well, but it was fun to do. Bingo. I get to see my family that way. I haven't got to see my children very much. And one of my daughters, I'll tell you this little surprise, is going to have a baby. So I am going to be a grandma. This is my first grandchild. I'm going to be a grandma. And I'm very excited, but I can't see her right now because of the COVID-19 right now. So I get to talk to her on the computer or on the telephone. So there are still ways that we can still see each other and give virtual hugs and tell each other how much you mean. And here's just a little moment from me. Do you know how much all of you mean to me? Even if I haven't got to actually meet you yet, which I'm hoping if you're watching our videos that you will be able to come someday and I'll get to meet you. But you mean a lot to me. You mean, I'm having a hard time finding the words. You are very special to me that I get to have the responsibility of teaching you about Jesus. That makes my heart very happy. And you guys all make me really happy too. And I miss your giggles and I miss your smiles and I miss teaching you in person. But I love that I can still teach you right here and that we will soon be together. And if I haven't met you, I hope I get to meet you soon. So I hope that you all go and have a fabulous week. You learn something special. And let's see, what do I always say? Tell your parents thank you. Anybody who's helping you. Make your bed, wash your clothes, help you with homework, dance, sports, whatever they're helping you with or teaching you. Maybe teaching you a new game. Maybe just having movie night. Say thank you. All right, you guys have a great week. I'm going to have a great week. Wear your jacket. It's going to be cold this week. Have a good one.